Hey guys, I want to do a quick video on this old 56 Buick. This was one of my old projects. I had it about where I wanted it, and if you've watched any of my old videos, you know I hit a cow with this thing. I was driving it to work, and I hit it's about 1,300 pound Black Angus bull, and I hit it about 3 o'clock in the morning, so I never even seen it. All I seen was the white of its eye, and then it was too late. But anyway, kind of a backstory on this car. It was bought new in California, and it made its way to Alaska, and then to Cleveland, Tennessee, and the guy wanted to move back to Alaska. He couldn't take the car with him. So he ended up selling it to another guy, and then I got it off him. I actually went down there to get a two-door parts car, and I seen this one and the pink one sitting there, and they were going to strip the green one and fix the pink one. So anyway, we wheeled and dealed around, and after a while I ended up getting both cars. Luckily enough, because again I ended up wrecking the green one, obviously, and these old Buick parts are not easy to find. That's why a lot of people shy away from the Buicks. Stuff's pretty hard to find now. There's a company called Cars LLC. They're starting to reproduce a lot of stuff, but little things on these Buicks, if you're going to restore one, will really cost you some money, especially the chrome. You can tell this chrome doesn't match. The front end's off a Super, and this is a Roadmaster. So you can tell the difference in the chrome. This chrome kind of sticks out. The Roadmaster chrome's flat. And I believe I'm calling it chrome. A lot of that's stainless. I'd say around the windshield trim and stuff, all that's chrome. But anyways, just some stuff I've done to this car. When I got it running, but the block was busted. So I pulled the motor out of the paint car and rebuilt it. And so it's a real low mile motor. It's a 322 nail head. Now you can see it's a little dark in here, but I've put the updated power brake conversion on it. That's around 750. I don't know if you can tell, that's a Newport Engineering wiper motor. That's electronic wipers. My fuel line's a little janky. I had all that a little better before I wrecked the car. When I wrecked the car, it tore it up pretty bad. I mean, the water pump, the power steering pump here was laid back probably right in here. It crushed the valve cover down. It was a real mess. I mean, it really tore this thing up, and I just put a new radiator in it, and of course it destroyed it, so I've got to get another new radiator. So anyway, I'm going to try to match this front end up. I'll probably get Primer's Best to come here and help me with it. Just try to match it up best I can for the time being. Either that, or I may pull all the trim off of it and flat black the car, satin black, whatever, and lower it on down a little bit. But if I do all that, I want to put an LS motor and stuff in it, and the rear end's going to have to come out of the car. It's a closed drive line, and that's another reason why people shy away from the Buicks. This one's got a Dynaflow automatic, and in 56 this thing was as close to a Cadillac as you could get for the money, because you could go down the road at 70, 75 and be comfortable in 1956. So that was kind of unheard of then. But another thing, the car's got Coker Wide Classics on it. Those are fairly new tires, not a lot of miles. I had done all that. In here, the door panels and stuff, the interior's in pretty bad shape, but it's got power seats, power windows, it's got a power radio antenna, all that still works. The dash pad's good. That old tack, I don't know how old that old tack is, but it's kind of neat that it's in there, because this car got parked in the late 60s. You can still see some of the old service stickers and stuff on it, stuff like that. And all this is the story I got with the car. Now, I had just put this sticker on this car probably a week prior to me wrecking it, so I guess that's kind of ironic. But there's one of the old California, I guess, emission stickers. I've stuck some stuff behind it because it kept flaking off when I was going down the road. But I put a radio in it in the glove box. The original radio does work. I really enjoyed this old car. This thing was a lot of fun. A lot of people liked it, looked at it. It was really dependable. You could jump in this thing, go anywhere. I drove it to the rod run, and I ran it up and down the strip in 100-degree weather. Never ran hot. Now, it had an electric fan and the original fan. Just trying to lift the trunk here. This is a super solid old car. The trunk and stuff's always been real good. You can see that I put the spatter paint in it. It's a little dingy. There's my old chair, fire extinguisher and stuff. But this car was, it's been kept in the dry somewhere during its life. But I had Tim Dixon put 2 front floor pans in it, and he had to fix a little spot on the tunnel. And they done a real good job on it. I was real proud of it. And I was in the works of getting some. I've just got parts and pieces laying everywhere. Now I had a radio on that glove box, that's why it's dropped down. I ended up using it for something else, but I'll put one back in it. But I was in the process of getting the interior done. I had talked to Angie Dixon, and she was just going to holler at me when she got a free spot, and I was going to take it over there and just let her do the seats, door panels, and everything. Now the old headliner's still up. It looks good. There's part of my seal sticking out here. This old door seal, it's rotted. It needs to be fixed. I'll eventually get to it, but I mean, if you can see the headliner there, it still looks good. Like I said, this was just a really, really good running old car and a good driving car. I put kingpins in it and a pitman arm, several little things. Now underneath this car looks great. I went through and cleaned it really good and took satin black trim paint and painted everything under the car. It's really clean, looks really good. Like I said, the biggest downfalls of these Buicks is the closed drive line. So if I fix this car again, I will probably get rid of all that, get rid of the kingpin front suspension. Nothing wrong with the kingpins. They're okay, but it's just old technology. So maybe get some stuff out from under a square body or something and replace that front suspension. They've actually offer a few different setups for these now, and I'll probably do truck swing arm suspension in the back. Now again, that's if I decide to keep it, if I decide to fix it. I've got a couple of people that's kind of always been interested in this car, and I've been reluctant to sell it, but my wife is scared to death of this car. She really thinks it's haunted. I got myself caught on fire due to this car one time and had to go to the Wellstar in Georgia's burn unit. So that sort of sucked, and then once I got it done, I ended up hitting the cow with it. So I don't know. It's my own stupidity, the fire, and the cow. I mean, you know, it wouldn't really matter what I'd been driving, but you know how women are. She blames it on the old Buick here. So there's the Roadmaster, and of course it knocked my mirror off. I need a lot of stuff to get it back going, but for right now, I'm just gonna again try to match the front end back up. I'm satisfied that motor will start up no problem. It's got an electronic fuel pump back here in the back that I put on it. It's a Edelbrock Quiet Flow. You cannot hear it. Reason being, these old fuel pumps on these nail heads, they're not really problematic. They're just aggravating. They're expensive, and I don't really like them. They from the factory, they run vacuum for the wipers off the fuel pump. So I got rid of the vacuum wipers, so I just decided to get rid of that old fuel pump. There's a lot of working parts in it, and if it went out going down the road, you know, if you was to drive this car to the rod run and that fuel pump went out, I can promise you're not going to pull into your local AutoZone and find anything like that. I also put a Chevrolet alternator on this thing. Stuff like that just to keep it simple. That way if it tore up me on the road, I could pull in a parts store and maybe get something to get me back going. Now the only thing, it's got electronic ignition on it. I also put electronic ignition, but it's one of the Protronics deals, you know, it converts the points over to electronic. So those are around $90. So I've actually got an extra one still in the car. I carried it everywhere with me, and I usually carried an extra coil. When I took off any long distance trips, you know, I always throw that stuff in the car and a little tool set, because these are old cars. I mean, they're going to tear up. They never were meant to drive 2 and 3 hours at a time. You know, back then that was, you know, maybe on vacation or something, but typically you didn't just take off and drive something like this for 2 or 3 hours, especially at interstate speeds. I mean, you know, the roads were a lot worse, so you wasn't really beating on them as bad as you are today. But anyway, just kind of wanted to show you the car. You know, again, I've lost interest in it over time, especially after I hit the cow. It just kind of made me sick, and I just was kind of disgusted with the car. But I've kind of got a little interest back in it, so I'm going to at least get it back running and driving, and then decide what I want to do. If I want to go ahead and LS it and do the suspension on it, or if I just want to sell it and let somebody else do something with it. I don't know. Anyways, again, I wanted to make this video for Primary's Best. Most of my videos are for him. He really enjoys watching them, and you know, I don't post a lot of stuff, but when I do, you know, I'm just kind of doing it to give him something to look at. Now here's the old 78. I got the original wheels back on it, new tires, new radiator, new fuel pump, several little things, new heater hoses. I'm going to go ahead and put new radiator hoses on it. I put new rear shocks. The front shocks, I got to get them ordered. I'm just kind of nickel and diming this thing. It runs and drives great though. I've really been driving this truck a whole bunch, and it's another one I'm just on the fence about it. So I'm debating on lowering it, putting the wheel molding trim on it, and some chrome bumpers, and of course the 20-inch torque thrust. And I think it would be a good looking old truck. Probably put Penetrol on it. But again, I'm just kind of on the fence about it. I've got so many that I'm fooling with. I've got the little S10. I'm still kind of debating on maybe having Tim tub it out and putting a, you know, little turbo LS and stuff in it. I don't know. I've got too many, and I can't really stay focused on one, so I probably need to thin the herd a little. And of course the 72 GMC, it's not going anywhere for right now. I'm still kind of picking at it a little bit. You can see it's sitting outside because the Buick's in here, and I've got to get something to put my boat under. But anyways, guys, give me your opinions on the 56 Buick, what you think I ought to do with it. Also the 78. You think I should lower it and put the wheels on it? I mean, it's obviously going to look a lot better, but when you do that, it kind of takes away the functionality of the truck. I mean, you can still haul stuff, but you can't really pull anything, you know, because it's lowered. So I don't know. Anyways, you guys have a good one. It's Sunday. I'm going to get in the house and spend some time with the family and get cleaned up. Work time will be here before I know it. So y'all have a good one.